I'm Iyaz with Twit, and today I've been given another Ultrabook. Now, if you watch this show before you buy, you know that I've had some harsh words for certain Ultrabooks, and this is the Lenovo ThinkPad X1 Carbon. I asked to review this because I've heard fantastic things about it. If you take a look at it, it's got that no-nonsense Lenovo ThinkPad styling. We're talking about black. Basic black's got this rubberized kind of grip to it, and why this is called the X1 Carbon is because it's made of carbon fibers. When you try to get some flex or bend in this thing, it doesn't happen. Plus, it's super light. It's like 3 pounds. See, you can twirl it around. It's got a pretty good design here. We've got a great hinge. I love hinges that let you do this. I know that seems strange, but I always find myself in weird positions with laptops on couches. And when I want to look at the angle, I want to be able to do something like that. So if you want to hold it up like a crazy tablet, you could. Right, but it doesn't work that way. Also, the screen, 1600 by 900 display. This is an anti-glare, matte finish, so you're not constantly trying to find what angle you've got to go to avoid this reflection. So that's really nice. Like I said, this is a ThinkPad, and it has a killer keyboard, super comfortable. Even though this is really thin, the travel on the keys is really good. The trackpad operated fantastically. Multi-touch worked fine, pinch and zoom worked fine, scrolling worked great. This is a trackpad Lenovo you should put in all your notebooks because the other ones kind of stink. On the IdeaPad, ThinkPad's got a really great trackpad there. Also, it's a big click surface for you there. And for you old school ThinkPad users like me, there is still the track point, so if you want to use that instead of the trackpad, you can. I still really like that. One of the most questionable things on this laptop, and most people I showed this to were confused, is something called Simple Tap. It's an interface that Lenovo put on. There's a dedicated button for it. So you click this button, and then you see this strange tiled interface. Now, you can see there's a Solution Center up. There are several different tiles that you can install through the Lenovo App Shop. Wasn't aware that they had one of these things. And one of the weird things is, if you take a look at the interface, you might start wondering, how do I get out of it? Oh, what if I just click the button again? Doesn't do anything. What if I try to go back? You can do that. You can keep clicking this little arrow until you go back to the desktop, or you can click somewhere randomly. It'll take you back to the desktop. That is not intuitive, and I don't think it has any place on a notebook this good. This is a premium notebook, and that, Lenovo, is crapware. That has no business, has no place on something this elegant. Also, the keyboard, like I said, fantastic. Also backlit. Like I said, this is a premium notebook. This thing starts at $1349 or $1329, depending on the day. Lenovo partnered up with Dolby for the speakers on this. They're saying it's not tinny. You're gonna get some really great sound. We can turn up the audio right now.
Projector.
There's some Twit audio.
LED light source.
And what I found was the audio was sufficiently loud. You don't have any buzzing or weird sounds with this, but you're not gonna get any booming bass sounds out of this. This is a tiny notebook. You're not going to get incredible audio, but it's very, very serviceable. As this is an Ultrabook, the specs are pretty much the same as what you'll expect everywhere else. You'll get a Core i5. You can bump that up to an i7 if you want. It's got 4 gigabytes of RAM, upgradable to 8. You can throw in an SSD. This one has a 256 gigabyte SSD. So internals effectively not differentiated from any other Ultrabook. Again, when you're buying the ThinkPad X1 Carbon, you're buying the super light and the carbon fiber, and also the biometric sensor if you want to use a fingerprint as a password. On the Pro side, the Lenovo X1 Carbon has some really beautiful styling. It doesn't look like every other thing out there. Plus, it's super sturdy. The keyboard is fantastic. The trackpad is very good. I know that some people will complain it's not as good as some of the Apple trackpads. It's a very good trackpad on the X1. On the con side, that Simple Tap interface should not be built into the X1. On top of that, the resolution of the screen could be higher. 1600 by 900 is good, but we could have gone up to a 1080p display, especially for a premium notebook. On the battery front, Lenovo says you can get 8 hours of battery. Most of the tests out there show around 5. Now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, is the X1 a try, buy, or don't buy? I gotta say, this is a definite buy. It's a fantastic notebook, incredibly sturdy, incredibly light. As long as you have access to an outlet sometimes after 5 or 6 hours, you're gonna really enjoy this notebook. It is a standout in the Ultrabook category. I'm Iyaz with Twit, and this is the Lenovo ThinkPad X1 Carbon.